What is it like to road trip with a Model Y? It's easy to say that it's comfortable driving around the city, for 15, 20, 30-minute commutes, going to the store. But what is it like when you're actually spending several hours and potentially 8 or maybe 10 hours a day on a road trip? What are the things that truly impress? That's what this video is all about. Let's get started. When you're taking road trips, efficiency is really important, especially in an EV, because the more efficient it is, the less often you have to stop, the less time you have to spend charging. And the great thing about Model Y is that it is so efficient. It beats EPA ratings. In fact, let me show you the consumption right now. I've been driving steady at 75 using FSD. Model Y's efficiency is so exemplary. It is something that you really should prioritize because consumption, in my opinion, is more important than range. Now, obviously, if the car only gets 200 miles range, that's not that practical, but Model Y has enough range where in combination with the outstanding consumption and pretty good charging speeds, it is a winner. Plus, you have the supercharging network that's blanketed the country. So it's just the best balance of everything. Something to note is that a lot of other EVs, their consumption or their efficiency doesn't actually reach the EPA rating, whereas real world Teslas today, they actually do. Not only do they reach the EPA numbers, but they exceed them. And it's been my experience throughout my entire year and 30,000 miles of ownership, I exceed the consumption according to the EPA. And here's the thing, there are some EVs that claim to charge faster than Model Y, but what good is it to be faster at charging if you're even faster at losing energy, meaning your efficiency is poor? So that's one of those things you got to pay attention to, where it makes a good headline, it's good for their press release to say it charges faster, but then what they're not telling you is that you're losing it even quicker. Okay, let's talk about general comfort while on road trips. Of course, this is different than if you're just driving for 15 minutes. I mean, how hard is it to be comfortable on a 15-minute drive? But on multi-hour road trips, the expectation and the actual level of comfort is quite different. So the Model Y is very comfortable even on road trips, long distances, many hours of driving, because things like the air conditioning, the HVAC works so good. It really keeps the car cool. And also, the seats are also comfortable. You have ventilated and heating, so there's that. Plus just the roominess of the interior. You have room to stretch out. If you have 4 people in the car, you'll still be comfortable. One thing that people don't often talk about is the sight lines out of the car is fantastic. The visibility is so good. Especially if you're on a road trip, you're looking around and it's just so easy to see everything. The interior of the Model Y feels very voluminous because it's based off of Model 3, but it's wider and taller. But the height really does wonders for this psychological feeling of roominess. It's like being in a high-ceilinged living room, right? The room feels bigger. Similarly, in a Model Y, it just feels so much bigger than a Model 3 because you have that extra height, because you have that glass ceiling, you have the extra width, which makes it also extremely good for a road trip because you don't feel so penned in. A lot of times when you're driving for hours on end, the car sort of starts to shrink around you. I've never felt like the more hours I spend in the car, the more I'm like, oh, let's get out already, because it just feels like my space is closing in on me. And of course, we can't talk about road tripping without talking about FSD. And FSD, just in and of itself, completely changes the dynamic of a road trip, in that it changes it from are we there yet to we're there already. It's that dramatic. It's a game changer. So like right now, I'm able to record this video. I'm looking ahead, but I'm able to talk to you guys, record this video. I can push the seat all the way back. There's so much room here because of that. And I'm able to just relax. And you can't say that when you're driving other cars without FSD. You're constantly having to pay attention. You're constantly having to give 100%. And when you are taking multi-hour road trips, even another 15 minutes of giving 100% can be too much, can be fatiguing. So with FSD, the hours just melt away. Having FSD takes some of the stress out of, let's say you have to be distracted for a few seconds. You need to look away. You have to check your phone. Maybe you have to modify your route, do a little route planning, lunch planning, planning for stops or what have you. FSD permits that without putting you in danger. FSD is very good for speed regulation because for me, I find it very difficult on just a straightaway to just for hours on end maintain a certain speed. Now you can use cruise control, but sometimes cruise control isn't that intelligent, and it doesn't always change the speed according to the speed limit itself. If you don't subscribe to FSD, you might just want to, just for that month where you know you're going to be taking a road trip, because it's that good. Charging is also really good on a Model Y for a road trip because there's superchargers everywhere, and also it charges fast. Yes, it doesn't charge the fastest of any EV, and I already talked about how the efficiency makes up for that, but it charges fast enough, 250 kilowatts. That's pretty darn fast. But also the convenience of where the superchargers are. I've done several other road trip videos where I've proven that driving a Model Y or driving a Tesla, you don't actually spend more time because you have to charge, because you're going to have to use the bathroom anyway. You're going to have to stop for food anyway. And when you combine those needed stops with supercharging, you'll find that 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there, maybe 15 minutes here for a food stop. When you add all that up, you realize that you didn't actually ever make a dedicated stop for supercharging, because when you do that, you might feel like it's a waste of time or it adds additional time. When you combine it with other reasons to stop, then you actually you didn't actually spend more time on the road solely because of supercharging. Also, the tech in general makes it very easy and pleasurable to take road trips in Model Y. So for example, I'd like to look for a restroom right now, so I'll just say, hey Grok, is there a restroom nearby or a rest stop nearby on my route?
Yeah, there's a Love's Travel Stop just 1.3 miles away in Skippers, open 24/7 with restrooms.
Take me
On
there.
your route to Rivian. Route set to Love's Travel Stop.
Okay, so you see how easy it is, and I use it also to look for places to eat and anything. It's very good at planning your itinerary and your stops, and it just throws it onto the navigation for you. You can, and it's only getting better because Tesla has announced that they're going to use natural language capabilities to control the car through Grok. So it's already decent, but it's getting better. And it's not just that the tech exists, but that it actually works. I mean, how many times have you used a voice system in a car that really didn't understand what you were saying or thought you said something else? And it can get really annoying. And the media options on Model Y is so good. You have so many like streaming services available. Your typical like Apple Music, YouTube, Spotify. I recently rediscovered terrestrial radio, so sometimes I'll listen to that as well. And then in the back, people who are sitting in the back, they can connect their own Bluetooth headphones. You don't have to hear what they're listening to or watching. They can watch Netflix, Hulu, YouTube in the back. So there's just a lot to keep you occupied as well. And the great thing is that while the car is moving, you're not locked out from selecting or adjusting any of this stuff on the screen, whereas some cars will lock you out. That's super annoying. Model Y is also really good on road trips because it's so smooth and quiet, and the noise, vibration, and harshness totally ironed out in Juniper. Most people will agree that the car is quiet with the double pane glass on the sides, and also the quieter suspension and the tires that have the foam inserts to dampen the sound. So all of it is designed for road trip comfort, and it makes a difference. So when you add up all of these things, a little here, a little there, it just makes the Model Y, again, such a good all-rounder, definitely very good in all of these key categories. And then in the aggregate, that cumulative effect, you really see what a great choice